Hello everyone, welcome to another video review. Today I'm looking at LEGO Avengers set number 76125, Iron Man Hall of Armor from Marvel's Avengers Endgame, sort of, but more from Marvel's Iron Man 3. Why are we just now getting this set? Oh well, anyway, before we take a look at said set, let's take a look at the box. So, here we have, up here, LEGO Marvel Avengers. We've got some Avengers over here in the corner. Hey, gee, I wonder why he's prominent on the box. I don't know. So, here's the set in all of its entirety. Here we have the various minifigures, a big Avengers A over there. This is for ages 7+. Of course, that's just suggestion. They have to put that on there. 76125, Iron Man Hall of Armor, 524 pieces. Building toy in several different languages. Don't eat the toy because, you know, it's a bunch of plastic bricks. That's very hard to digest. And then on the back, it shows that you can put this set in several different configurations. And how to do that. You can put Tony into the Igor mech. Another configuration. You can put the set in, and that's pretty much it for the box. So, yeah. Here we have Iron Man's Hall of Armor from Endgame, but not really. This is actually from Iron Man 3, because we never see... I mean, it's very possible that he had a Hall of Armor like this in Endgame that we just never saw, but the inclusions of the Mark 1 and the Mark 5 and the Mark 42 just kind of the design of this in general make it feel very much like this is Iron Man's Hall of Armor from his Malibu mansion that was blown up in Iron Man 3, as well as Igor, which was featured in Iron Man 3. But then you've got the Mark 50 from Infinity War, and then the Outriders from Infinity War, and then they weren't really featured that much in Endgame, not until the very, very end. Same with the Mark 50, except the opposite. It was featured at the very beginning, and after that, it wasn't in the film at all. So it's more from Infinity War than it is from Endgame. So, very confusing set, just based off of premise of what is this really from. But a cool set nonetheless, because even though I'm sort of kind of confused on why it's coming out now, although not really. That's kind of spoilery, though. I'll get to that later, and I'll flash a warning. I like that this set is out because it kind of completes the Iron Man 3 collection, which back in the day when Iron Man 3 was out, I'm like, you know what? I wish we had the Hall of Armor set. And, well, here we are, Hall of Armor set. So, let's go ahead and get into the minifigures, starting with Tony Stark. So, here we have Tony Stark in the Mark 50 armor as we saw it in Avengers Infinity War. So we can flip up the head mask, and then here is Tony with the heads-up display, which I think is really cool. I like that they actually have a piece that has the heads-up display. That's really awesome. And then here he is just with a typical Tony Stark expression. So, just put that back down. And then, yeah, very cool, very cool. Minifigure. Now, you can take his helmet off here, and then we've got a little thing over here where his hair is. And then, oh, well, hold on. That's not going to work. So there we go. His head's backwards, but you get the idea. You can put the hair on, and then there's his face. So yeah, that is the Mark 50. We'll just set that over there and move on to the Mark 1 armor. This is one of the reasons I wanted to get this set, is for an official release of the Mark 1 armor. This is the set of armor Tony built in the cave with a box of scraps and used to escape from the 10 rings in the first Iron Man film. Of course, the design is based off of the original Iron Man armor from the comics. So it was a very cool way to incorporate that design. And overall, it looks very nice. I mean, of course, this armor was way bulkier than any of the armors after it, just because it was a giant tin can, literally. But but it's still really cool to look at in minifigure form. There's a lot of nice details on here because if it wants to focus, which it's not really, but you can kind of see it. Oh, there we are. You can see that there's writing because all of this metal is just taken from like discarded missiles and stuff. So yeah, that's the Mark 1. Very, very cool. Then moving on, here we have the Mark 5 armor from Iron Man 2. This is also known as the suitcase armor because this is before Tony really had perfected the Iron Man armor designed where he could call it to him. And so if he needed to suit up, and so it took a while to suit up, so if he needed to suit up in a hurry, then he had the suitcase. And so here is the portable suitcase armor from said Iron Man 2. And then, like the Mark 1, there is just a transparent headpiece in there. But you can take off the headpiece that comes with the Mark 50 and place it in any of these. So if you want your Tony from the set to be wearing the Mark 5, you can have him wearing the Mark 5. That's how that works. So I'm glad we finally get an official release of this one too, this is another reason I wanted to buy the set, is because, we got the actual suitcase in the Malibu Mansion set back in 2013. So to actually have the armor to go with the suitcase now is very, very cool. So yeah, there is the Mark 5. Now we will get to him in a second. And here we have the Mark 41, aka the Bones armor. This is a set of armor that was very lightweight and could split into pieces very easily. We saw it used in Iron Man 3 when it was used. If I remember correctly, I just watched it the other day. I'm pretty sure this is the armor that took down the goons right when the House Party Protocol started, and Jarvis flew up and said, "Gentlemen," and then it split into pieces and knocked like 10 people off of the crane equipment. So, yeah, very, very cool armor. It's a very different type of Iron Man armor to include because it bucks the traditional Iron Man color scheme with the red and gold, and this is instead black and gold. So, I think it looks really, really cool. And like the Mark 1 and the Mark 5, it's just got a transparent headpiece underneath. So, yeah, so that's the Mark 41, and of course we know that the Mark 42 came afterward, and then I talked about him a second ago because I knocked him off. Come here. Here we have an Outrider, which is one of Thanos' little attack dog things from Infinity War. Again, because the nature of this set is, and I dropped them, is more from Iron Man 3 than Avengers, Infinity War, or Endgame, I'm confused as to why they're included. I guess it's just to give us some conflict in a box, but it looks cool. It looks very, very cool. I do like the design of this in minifigure form. It would have been nice if the legs have had some printing, but I think the printing on the chest and the head more than make up for it, because the head is just all mouth. There's not any eyes or anything. It's just mouth. So yeah, very creepy. You do get this kind of backpack thing to give it the extra arms because Outriders have a whole bunch of arms. They are not your typical. They're not your typical humanoid creature. They're very, very alien. So that's pretty much it for the minifigures, but we're not done with the characters yet because we cannot forget about Dummy in his little dunce hat. The saddest moment of Iron Man 3, when one of the dummies had been blown up and the other one was looking at it very sad, so he's got his little dunce cap and he's got a fire extinguisher. If you spray me again, I'm not actually on fire. I'm going to donate you to a community college. So this one's built differently from the one that came in the Malibu Mansion set. You can actually get a little bit of different rotation and movement out of it just because of the way it's designed. So very cool to see Dummy again. That's a character that we haven't actually really seen since Iron Man 3. Now there was one that was included in Spider-Man Homecoming deleted scene, but we never really, and I suppose he was in the background of the finished movie, but we never really saw him that much in there. We saw more in the deleted scenes. But, so, yeah. So, before we move on to the main set, we will move on to the Igor mech. So, now let's remember all the way back to late 2012, early 2013, when the first Iron Man 3 trailer was out. And, the trailer ended with seeing all the armor and stuff. And it's like, oh, Iron Man 3 coming May 2013. And then we saw this thing rushing toward us. Everyone was like, oh, it's the Hulkbuster. That's so cool. Now, it's not the Hulkbuster. But I suppose you could say this is maybe some sort of precursor to the Hulkbuster we later see in Age of Ultron. This is a heavy-duty lifting suit. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure in the MCU anyone can actually, from the way it's built, anyone can actually wear this suit. I think it's actually just kind of a mech that, Jarvis would control. Now, because it is a Lego toy, you can actually put someone in it. No, I guess we want to move that out of the way first. So, you just click Tony there, and boom, now we've got someone inside the Igor mech. Again, I'm not sure that's exactly canonical, but hey, cool play feature nonetheless. And I do like the way that they have it fold up and everything. So, yeah, I mean, it's Igor. It certainly looks like Igor, which is cool. So, that's pretty much it for all the characters and minifigures and stuff. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the set itself. The set itself, very impressive. Very, very cool. Excuse me. First off, I suppose we've got this little desk piece. This set overall is actually very modular, which is cool. So, we've got a computer here, so with different things on it. So here's the Jarvis AI. There's a little keyboard here. So I'm assuming that there's a blocked caller on here. I'm assuming, and because of the picture, I'm assuming that's supposed to be Coulson. So that says system error intruder alert, and so it does give us an outrider on there. So these three are very much based off of the first 3 Iron Man movies, but then this is like Infinity War, Endgame stuff, which makes it confusing. Oh well. So then you can take this and you can plug it in right here, and then we'll get into some other ways you can plug that in a minute. So then here in the center, we do have the Iron Man transformation chamber area, to where using his earlier suits would take, you'd require machinery to put them on before they became a little more lightweight and they were able to just attach themselves to him. And so then he would require machinery to put them on. So like here we have the machinery to actually put it on, and then it does rotate, so you can have the figure rotating if you wish. So then there's a whole bunch of stuff here, and this is one of the things that helps make this set a little more modular, is that it does stretch out kind of like that. So then over here we've kind of got a little smoothie maker, I guess, with a cup. And then we've got stuff that I'm not really, this is part of the stuff that I guess is just play features for play feature's sake, because I don't really get it. It's like there's a blaster, and there's this, which I guess goes with the Mark 50, because it can make all these different weapon attachments. So I get that as being some sort of blast. Then there's a jetpack. I don't know why an Iron Man armor would need a jetpack unless this is supposed to go with the Mark 1. But the box doesn't actually show it with the Mark 1. It shows it with the Mark 50. So I question. I mean, I'll use it for the Mark 1, fine, but it doesn't make sense for the Mark 50. Then over here we've got a wrench and the thing that holds Tony's hair in place. So then one of the, I'll just move these guys off to the side, as well as all this. And then one of the things you can do, as stated on the back of the box, is that this does wrap around, so we can put this in here, and then I lift up the camera, and then we've kind of got a little enclosed workspace for Tony, which I guess that's more like the wine cellar that we saw in Iron Man 3, where he's got all of his armors. That's probably more of a secluded workspace than just the garage area. So we'll go ahead and spin this back around and reattach that there. So not only can you do that, but then if you want to, there we are. Now we can move that off to the side. You can get everything lined up, and you can make messing up the smoothie maker. And you can attach it up here. I'm having a bit of trouble getting it to actually do that. There we are. And then you could take those and attach them up there, so you can actually have a taller hull of armor and not have the whole wraparound thing, which is cool. I like that it gives you options. That's very, very cool. That's very nice. But I prefer to leave it down like this. And wrapped around like that. I think that's the coolest looking thing for display. Now, this is a totally optional thing you can do if you've got the Malibu Mansion set. Let's go ahead and spin this around. Oops. Reattach that. That's a nice thing. It attaches and detaches very easily. It's Lego. So if you've got the Malibu Mansion set from 2013, like I do, hey, look at it right here, then you can actually take it and put it up there. I'll just move that. Put it up here. And now we've got a Stark Mansion display. So this is how I end up, this is how I display it on my shelf, with the mansion up here and then the Hall of Armor down here. So, from the front, you've got the mansion, and then this would be like the basement area. And then you can turn it around. Just got to be careful about that. So, there we are. And then you can turn it around, and then you've got, the upstairs part of the mansion, and then that area down there. And then you can take your additional Iron Man armors you've got from other sets, and then you can place them in there in the order of when they were built. So yeah, that's a very cool thing. I don't know if Lego necessarily intended for this to be a thing you can do, but it is a thing you can do. That's what I do with it, so I think that's very cool, and I'm glad that this set does exist, so we can do that. You can finally complete your Iron Man 3 collection this way, because, I feel like this is a set that probably needed to come out back in the day, and it didn't. So let's go ahead and get this radar dish back up here, move Igor back into view, grab the Outriders, and yeah, so that's pretty much it for this set. This is where the spoilers come in. So spoilers are flashing on the screen right now. If you haven't seen Endgame, I don't know what's wrong with you. If you're watching this and you care about Marvel and you haven't seen Endgame yet, obviously you don't actually care about Marvel. Otherwise, you probably would have seen Endgame by now. Unless, of course, there's extenuating circumstances that have stopped you. Hey, who am I to judge if things have come up? But, so yeah, this is where the spoilers are. I understand why they made this set now and not back in the day. It's because Tony Stark is dead. He's dead. Iron Man is dead. Hey, I said this, we're getting into spoilers. So this is like Lego's send-off to that character, which I actually think is really cool. And what better way to pay tribute to the character than to give him, the Hall of Armor set? I mean, this is something people have been wanting for a long time. The character is dead. It's unlikely we will be seeing him again anytime soon. I'm sure Robert Downey Jr. will be back as Iron Man sometime in the... Whoa. The power just blinked here. Interesting. Anyway, just moving past that, I'm sure Robert Downey Jr. will be back as Iron Man in a Marvel movie sometime in the future. It's probably going to be relegated to a flashback or a dream sequence or something, and it'll be a very, very small part, I'm sure he will be back. But for the immediate future, he is not going to be in any Marvel films for a while. And so what better way to pay tribute to this character than by giving him the Hall of Armor set. So even if in its weird kind of mishmashed form where you've got Outriders and the Mark 50 from the later films, even though the rest of the set is mainly based on earlier films that the character is featured in. So hey, who am I to complain? We've got the Mark 1 and the Mark 5 and kind of overall Hall of Armor's official release from Lego. So we've also got a nice mech. I mean, Igor, I never thought we'd see an Igor release. Oh, yeah, I guess that's something you can do, is have him step on the Outriders. So we'll just put him like that for the duration of the review. So, I mean, very, very, very cool set. I would certainly recommend it. $60. That's not too bad for 524 pieces. I think there's a lot of play features here that that certainly make this all worth it. And so I would certainly recommend it. I actually managed to find this on sale. It was like $45, which is surprising considering it's a very new set. But so I definitely jumped on it then, but I was going to get it regardless. So I just got it a little earlier than I thought I would. But yeah, so I think it's a cool set. It's really nice. You get some really nice minifigures in here, some cool modular play features, and of course you can combine it with sets in your collection from previous films to kind of complete the Iron Man 3 collection, and just kind of build and continue to add more suits to your Lego Iron Man arsenal. So, yep, that's pretty much it for this review. I certainly recommend this set. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.